the Radio Forest podcast.
Oh, it's an exciting time at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All terrific. How are you?
Doing really good. I haven't talked to you in a couple of years. What'd you think of that World Series?
Whew. One for the ages. Game 7 was, we're going to be talking about it for a long time. I have to say I was rooting for Toronto. So I was crushed, but talk about excitement. Wow, what a game.
For me, I thought it was cool. Did you see some of the celebrities at the game? I saw Chad Smith and the Chili Peppers hanging out with Geddy Lee, and then I saw Flea hanging out with Brad Pitt. I thought those were odd pairings, but pretty cool.
Very odd. Now, Geddy I do know, and I can tell you he's a huge baseball fan, very knowledgeable. In fact, he has a book out right now about his baseball collection. He's a great fan, great guy.
Now, let's talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It's going on this weekend in LA. It's going to stream on Disney Plus live. One of the big stories, and there's several this year, is Soundgarden. They've been posting some behind-the-scenes photos of them practicing. What can you tell us about them being inducted and maybe what they're going to perform?
Oh, boy. It's interesting when you think about this whole class, right? Of course, it's Soundgarden, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Outkast, the White Stripes. And you think about, all right, of those bands, who is active and then who's going to perform in honor of them? And I see, as you noted, Soundgarden's been teasing it. But just think about this. We announced that Beck, Brandy Carlisle, Elton John, Flea, Iggy Pop, Killer Mike, Avril Lavigne, Bryan Adams, The Killers, and many, many more are going to be performing. And just it's mind-boggling to think who's going to step on stage at any given moment. And we've intentionally not announced who all the pairings are yet. So I'm going to say stay tuned. It's a cliffhanger.
Can you tell us, though, I heard that Jim Carrey might be inducting Soundgarden.
That, I believe, Jim Carrey is inducting. Yep. And that's, he's inducting someone. How's that for an answer? It's like, boy. That's the thing with these ceremonies. You never know what's going to happen. When it was in Los Angeles last, Eminem was being inducted, and all of a sudden, Ed Sheeran walked out and performed with him. And it's because he meant a lot to Ed Sheeran when Ed Sheeran was experiencing music. And so these pairings are just magical.
We've also got some stories about people that will not be attending. Paul Rodgers from Bad Company, Chubby Checker, and I heard maybe Jack White not showing up. Can you comment on any of those?
We send our best to Paul Rodgers. He was scheduled to be there up until his announcement when his team announced that he would not be making it. And we just wish him all the best. He's had some health issues over the last couple of years, and we were really optimistic. We would have been thrilled and honored for him to be there. But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make it. And, part of the magic there is, all right, who's the next person up? Who's now going to fill in and cover that and just take it to the next level? Now, if fans want to see this as it happens, Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, it'll start. The lights will come up, and it's going to go from beginning to end. There's no commercial breaks. There's no resets. There's no redos. That's the whole ceremony live as it happens.
Now, Chubby Checker has shared some issues he's had with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And you guys deal with this, I don't want to say every year, but probably out of the sheer number of people that you induct. But you just kind of roll with it, and then they get inducted anyway.
Yeah, his impact and influence is very notable on music and on rock and roll and 20th century culture. And so for years, he was always would go on record about not being inducted and how he should be. And he's finally getting in. And it's just unfortunate that he announced he's going to play a previously booked concert date instead of coming to the induction. But it's his choice, and we're going to celebrate him. And he's part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame forever.
So it's not just a class. It's not just an induction ceremony. It's a pretty impressive display and museum in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, did you see that Jim Irsay's guitar collection is going up for sale in 2026? Does the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have any sort of budget or purchasing power that you could maybe pick up some of these iconic guitars that he had owned?
Oh, well, Jim Irsay put this amazing collection together. Of course, we think some of those items there would be terrific here in Cleveland at a public institution that makes them accessible to the visitors all year long. So we are keenly interested in what happens with that collection and where these things go. How can you not be? One of his prized items is the guitar that Dylan used in Newport when he went electric. That is one of our great artifacts for the whole history of rock and roll. And there's a gazillion others like that in his collection. So we're keenly interested in it.
Do you have a budget or something that you could maybe, enter the bidding for that, or do you rely on third-party donations and loans?
Yeah, we rely on third-party donations and loans to compete at the levels that those pieces sell for. As a nonprofit educational institution, it's just not in our budget to be able to do so. But we've been really fortunate that many artists have donated to the museum. Many collectors have donated to the museum, and some people will even purchase stuff at auctions like this and then donate them to the museum.
Did you see that Eddie Van Halen guitar, the Kramer, that went up for sale? I think it sold for just over $2 million, which I think is underappreciated because it also was used on the Dr. Feelgood album.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. But Eddie Van Halen, for all his innovations, these are guitars that he put together and built himself. We were fortunate to have his Franken guitar on exhibit here as well at the museum, and it's incredible. It just shows the innovation of these artists, not just in making music, but also in technology too.
I wanted to ask you, because I know he's been there several times, and you, with your ties to the Philadelphia area, surely you knew Pierre Robert, and I know he broadcasted there several times.
Oh, yeah. A giant, not just in Philadelphia radio, but in all rock and roll radio, and a friend to everybody. For him, it wasn't just a job. He loved music. If he wasn't on air, he'd be listening to music every day, all the time. A real champion of local bands and national bands, and did a lot for the Philadelphia market. In addition to music and being that strong personality, he used it to raise lots of funds for lots of needy causes, and really a big loss to the Philly radio community and to all of us. And he was a friend, and I send my condolences to all his family and friends back in the Delaware Valley.
So having the ties to that area, how far back did you know him, I guess is my question.
Well, I knew him as a listener in the 1970s at the height of FM rock radio. He was on WMMR, which was one of the big superstations in town. And so I have to say that my entire teenage years of listening to rock and roll radio was Pierre Robert. And magical time when I finally got to meet him later because of my association here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was a perfect circle and super, super person. The last time I saw him was about a year ago at the Philadelphia Music Awards. He was there to help us honor a number of other Philadelphia legends, and he himself is a Philadelphia legend. So
it's Greg Harris of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We've got the induction ceremony this Saturday, LA, Disney Plus. And then, Greg, isn't it correct it's also going to air on another streaming service later?
It will. So it's live on Disney Plus Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then the show will get edited and be aired on ABC during prime time on January 1st, on New Year's Day. And you can also catch it on Hulu as well after that. So don't miss it. It's going to be one for the ages.
All right, Greg. Well, it's great to talk to you again this year. Good luck this weekend, and thanks for the call.
My pleasure. Have a great day. Best to you.
See you.